Saving money on car repairs sounds like a win, right? But here's the ugly truth. Some car parts are not worth cutting corners on. You might save $50 today, but you could be staring at a $500, $1,000, or even $3,000 repair bill tomorrow. And worse, buying cheap can sometimes put you and everyone else on the road at serious risk. So in today's video, I'm breaking down the 5 car parts you should never buy cheap. We're talking brakes, tires, batteries, filters, and suspension components. The parts that keep you safe, keep your car running, and actually save you money in the long run if you do them right. And stick around until the end, because I've also got a bonus tip on one simple part that most people completely overlook, but it makes a huge difference every time you drive. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please subscribe this channel. We dive into everything cars, simple maintenance tips, parts you can actually rely on, and smart ways to make your vehicle last longer without throwing money out the window. Now, I know car repairs and maintenance can feel overwhelming, especially with so much conflicting advice out there. That's exactly why I started this channel, to break things down in a way that's clear, easy to follow, and actually saves you time, stress, and money. Whether you're a complete beginner who just wants to avoid costly mistakes, or a car enthusiast looking to squeeze the most performance and lifespan out of your ride, you're in the right place. So if that sounds useful to you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss future videos. Trust me, your car and your wallet will thank you. Let's start with the big one, brakes. Think about it. You're cruising down the highway at 65 miles per hour, music playing, maybe sipping on your coffee, when suddenly traffic ahead slams to a stop. In that split second, your brakes are the only thing standing between you and a serious accident. Now here's the kicker. A lot of people try to save a quick buck on brakes. You could hop online and find a set of brake pads for $20, maybe $30, and think, hey, a deal's a deal. But here's what most people don't realize. Those bargain pads are usually made of poor quality materials. Sure, they might technically fit your car, but they won't perform the same. They'll wear out much faster, heat up quicker, and worst of all, they can cause something mechanics call brake fade. So, what exactly is brake fade? It's when your brakes get so hot that they lose their stopping power. Imagine pressing down on the brake pedal and feeling it sink lower and lower until your car barely slows down. Terrifying, right? That's not just a scary thought. It's a very real risk when you buy cheap pads. Let me give you a real example. A buddy of mine thought he scored a deal by grabbing the cheapest brake pads he could find for his Toyota. He bragged about saving money until just 3 months later. The pads started squealing louder than an old city bus, and when he finally brought the car into the shop, the mechanic told him the pads had worn down so badly they were grinding into the rotors. That little $30 deal ended up turning into a $600 repair bill, just for brakes. And that doesn't even account for the stress of driving around in a car that didn't feel safe. The lesson here is simple. Don't cut corners on brakes. They're the most important safety system in your car. You can save money on a lot of things, but brakes are not one of them. If you want reliability, go with OEM pads. Those are the ones your car was originally designed to use. Or, if you prefer aftermarket, stick with trusted brands like Brembo, Bosch, or Akebono. Yes, they'll cost more upfront, but they'll also last longer, perform better, and most importantly, they'll give you peace of mind every time you hit the pedal. At the end of the day, brakes aren't just about saving your car, they're about saving lives. Next up, tires. People forget this all the time, but tires are literally the only part of your car that touches the road. Think about that for a second. 4 small rubber patches, each about the size of your hand, are the only thing keeping a 2-ton vehicle connected to the pavement at 65, 70, even 80 miles per hour. That's insane when you really think about it, right? Now, I get it. The temptation to save money on tires is real. Walk into any tire shop and you'll see the price difference immediately. A cheap, no-name set might cost you half the price of a reputable brand. But here's the catch. Those bargain tires don't go through the same level of safety testing. They often use lower quality rubber compounds, which means they don't grip the road as well, especially in the situations where grip matters most, like rain, snow, or emergency braking. There was actually a study that compared premium tires to budget tires in a wet braking test. The results? The car with the cheap tires took 20 extra feet to stop. 20 feet. That's an entire car length. Imagine coming up to a red light or a crosswalk, hitting the brakes, and still sliding straight into the intersection. That's the difference good tires make. It's not just comfort, it's literally safety. And safety isn't the only issue. Cheap tires also wear out faster, meaning you'll need to replace them sooner. They're more likely to crack in extreme heat or cold. And if you've ever driven on bargain bin tires, you know they get annoyingly loud over time, adding a constant hum or vibration to every drive. So even if you save $200 up front, you'll probably end up replacing them twice as often. In the long run, you don't actually save anything. Here's a quick tip. Always check the tire ratings before you buy. Look for 3 key things printed on the side: tread wear, traction, and temperature ratings. They tell you how long the tire is designed to last, how well it grips, and how it handles heat. And if you live in an area with heavy rain or snow, don't cheap out. Get quality all-season or even dedicated winter tires. Because trust me, the first time you hit black ice or have to slam on the brakes in the rain, you'll be glad you spent the extra money. Alright, let's talk about a part most people don't even think about until it fails: the car battery. It's one of those things you take for granted because it's out of sight and out of mind. You turn the key or push the start button, the car fires up, and you're on your way. But the moment it doesn't, suddenly you realize just how much you depend on that little box under the hood. Now here's the thing. A lot of drivers assume all car batteries are the same. They'll see a cheap one at the auto parts store and think, why spend more? It's just a battery, right? But that's where people get burned. A low-quality battery isn't just inconvenient, it will leave you stranded. And here's the kicker. It usually dies at the worst possible time, when you're late for work, stuck in freezing weather, or trying to get home from a long trip. See, your battery isn't just for starting your car. It powers the entire electrical system: your headlights, stereo, navigation, air conditioning, heated seats, even your phone charger. Cheap batteries often have weaker internal plates, lower reserve capacity, and they struggle badly in extreme hot or cold weather. Let me give you a real example. My neighbor thought he was being smart by saving money on a bargain brand battery right before winter. The very first cold snap came around and his car wouldn't start. Not once, but twice in the same week. He had to call roadside assistance both times, and eventually he caved and bought a proper battery. Problem solved instantly. But by then, he had already wasted money, time, and a whole lot of frustration. Here's my advice. Spend the extra $40-50 on a quality battery from a trusted brand: Optima, Interstate, Bosch, or even OEM from your dealership. And here's a key detail most people overlook: the warranty. If the battery only comes with a 6-month warranty, that's a huge red flag. The good ones usually offer anywhere from 3 to 5 years of coverage, so don't roll the dice with bargain batteries. Pay a little more now and you'll avoid headaches, jump starts, and tow trucks later. Number 4 on our list might surprise you: filters. Now, I'm not just talking about one type. I mean oil filters, air filters, and fuel filters. The small, inexpensive parts that most people completely overlook. They're not flashy, they don't cost much, and because of that, a lot of drivers don't think twice about grabbing the cheapest one off the shelf. But here's the reality. Using bargain filters is like asking for slow, hidden engine damage that adds up over time. Take oil filters, for example. A low-quality filter might not trap those tiny metal shavings and bits of sludge that form as your engine runs. Instead of getting caught, those particles keep circulating with your oil, scratching and wearing down your engine from the inside. You won't notice it right away, but over tens of thousands of miles, that wear shortens the life of your engine dramatically. Now let's look at air filters. A poor quality one might not seal properly or use the right kind of filtration material. That means dust and dirt can sneak past the filter and go straight into the combustion chamber. Imagine sandpaper inside your engine. That's basically what's happening when dirt particles slip through. And then you've got fuel filters. Cheap versions clog early or, worse, fail completely. When that happens, your fuel system gets starved or contaminated, which can cause rough idling, poor performance, or even damage to expensive components like your fuel injectors. The crazy part: the price difference between a bargain filter and a quality filter is often just $5. $5. So why risk an engine that costs thousands just to save the cost of a cup of coffee? Here's a simple rule of thumb. Always buy OEM filters, the ones your car was designed to use, or stick with trusted aftermarket brands like MAN, K&N, or Bosch. They're built to fit right, filter properly, and last as long as they should. And one more tip. Don't just buy the right filter, make sure you change them on schedule, because even the best premium filter, once it's clogged, is basically just as bad as a cheap one. Bottom line, filters may be small, but they play a massive role in keeping your engine clean, efficient, and running for the long haul. Finally, let's talk about suspension parts, your shocks, struts, and control arms. Now, most people think suspension is only about comfort, making your ride smooth and cushioned. But that's just part of the story. In reality, your suspension system is what keeps your tires planted firmly on the road. It controls stability, braking, and handling. And if it fails, you don't just lose comfort, you lose control. Here's the problem with cheap suspension parts. They simply can't handle the stress. They wear out quickly, start leaking fluid, and before you know it, your car is bouncing like a trampoline. But it doesn't stop there. Worn out or poorly made suspension parts can cause uneven tire wear, alignment issues, and steering problems that make your car unpredictable to drive. I learned this the hard way. I once bought a used car that had cheap aftermarket shocks installed by the previous owner. At first, it seemed fine, but within a year, they were completely shot. The car swayed dangerously every time I took a highway curve, and hitting potholes felt like slamming into a brick wall. Honestly, it was exhausting to drive. Finally, I replaced them with proper shocks from a trusted brand, and the difference was night and day. It felt like a brand new car. Not just smoother, but safer and way more stable. Here's why you should never cheap out on suspension. These parts take a beating every single day. Every bump in the road, every sharp turn, every pothole puts stress on them. And when they fail suddenly, say a strut mount cracks or a control arm bushing gives out, it can actually cause you to lose control of the vehicle. That's not just uncomfortable, that's dangerous. So, here's the rule. Invest in quality suspension parts. Stick with OEM replacements or trusted brands like Bilstein, KYB, or Monroe. Yes, they'll cost more up front, but they're engineered to handle the abuse and last much longer. At the end of the day, suspension isn't just about ride comfort. It's about safety, stability, and protecting the rest of your car from unnecessary wear. Think of it as an investment in both peace of mind and driving confidence. Okay, bonus time. One of the smallest, but surprisingly important things people constantly cheap out on are wiper blades and lights. Now I know what you're thinking, really? Wipers? But hear me out. Visibility is everything when you're behind the wheel. If your wipers smear your windshield instead of clearing it, suddenly your ability to see the road drops dramatically, especially in heavy rain or snow. That's not just annoying, it's dangerous. The same goes for headlights. Cheap bulbs burn out faster, don't shine as brightly, and often scatter light in the wrong direction. That means shorter visibility at night and less time to react to obstacles, pedestrians, or traffic changes. Even worse, low-quality headlights can blind oncoming drivers, creating an accident risk for everyone on the road. The difference between a $5 pair of wipers and a $20 pair is night and day, literally. And for headlights, stick with trusted brands like Philips or Sylvania. They last longer, shine brighter, and help you stay safe on every drive. So let's do a quick recap. The 5 car parts you should never buy cheap are 1. Brakes, your most important safety system. 2. Tires, the only part of your car that actually touches the road. 3. Batteries, powering everything from your engine to your electronics. 4. Filters, oil, air, and fuel filters that protect your engine from hidden damage. 5. Suspension components, shocks, struts, and control arms that keep your car stable and in control. And don't forget our bonus tip, wipers and lights. They might be small, but poor visibility can turn a minor inconvenience into a serious safety hazard. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a nightmare experience with a cheap car part? Maybe you thought you were saving a few bucks, only to end up paying hundreds or even thousands later. Drop your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear them, and maybe even feature a few in future videos. And if you found this video helpful, don't just leave it at that. Hit that like button, subscribe for more car tips, and share it with a friend who might be tempted by bargain bin parts. Your car and your wallet will thank you. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe on the road, and I'll see you in the next video for more tips that keep your car running longer, smoother, and smarter.